Hi, Ben.
Daddy?
You want a balloon, Ben? They float.
They all float.
Come here, son. You'll like it down there.
You'll never have to grow up.
Hello. Do you want to play a game?
Let's shoot this straight to DVD piece of shit already.
My best friend and I from high school went away for Christmas break, spoke to our families. I decided I was going to be an actor. I had to tell my parents and they weren't thrilled about the idea. And we go out for dinner. My friend and I, when we both got back, it was like, yeah, we got to talk. Let's talk. And we both told each other we were dropping out to go to acting school in Vancouver. And it turned out that we signed up for the same school, and him and I had never spoken about wanting to even thinking about trying to go be an actor. And we ended up, or one of them, we ended up driving across the country that fall to move to Vancouver. Watching a movie was my favorite thing you could possibly tell me that I was doing. And in my family, I had a friend who had a huge movie collection, and I used to just go to his house and we would, his dad had 100 VHS tapes, and I would just rewatch these movies just because they were movies. But I really loved Nightmare on Elm Street. Scared the shit out of me, but I loved movies like that with a group of teens kind of thing. I remember Jaws 2 was the first movie I snuck it. I said I was gonna read it. I was renting a different movie, and then I snuck the tape of Jaws 2, and that movie, 10 years old, scared the shit out of me. I have a soft spot for Jaws 2 specifically. I love Jaws 2 specifically. Nightmare on Elm Street 3 was the first one that I saw, and then we went back and watched, and those scared me. But what stopped me in my tracks was we ended up, 10-year-old kids, getting a tape of this film called Faces of Death. I was 10, man. That fucked me up. I can't go camping without freaking out that a bear is gonna come in my tent and rip my arm off. And there was peer pressure to keep watching, but and we think we're 15, but we're really 10. Anyway, so I took a break of horror movies after that one. That's sort of influenced my 10th year. So I wasn't going for horror movies. It just so happened that I got Final Destination, and that was a huge job for me. And then, I started doing more stuff. I was more into comic, which my first job was Meet the Parents for ABC Family. It's called Till Dad Do Us Part, and I was the Ben Stiller kind of character. Probably a really terrible movie, but to me that was getting Anakin Skywalker. I had no money, I had nothing, and all of a sudden I'm a lead in a movie. And then I got a Wes Craven movie called They. When I got the part, I had a great scene at the end of the movie that they cut before we ever even shot it, and I never got to even meet Wes Craven. He wasn't even there. They just licensed his name or something.
Rory!
I got a call back. I met the director. They said, your first choice. They loved me. They said, your first choice. I was dating at the time one of the girls that ended up being in the car, and I went with her to her audition. And the director, David Ellis, came out and saw me. He didn't know I was there, and came right up to me and gave me a hug and he said, what are you doing here? Blah, blah. And I hadn't gotten the part yet. but like I kind of went with her on purpose, you know. Just like get close. I just really wanted it. I had to wait like a month and a half. I was first choice for a month and a half. My manager came to town. I was living in Vancouver, and I told him, I said, you know, I'm up for this Final Destination. He goes, oh, well, let me call the executive at New Line and let's see what's going on with this. I think maybe the executive was on three-way with him or something and said, you know, hey, Jonathan, this is Richard. We would love to have you in our movie. When I read scripts that I don't have the part for, it's like I can't read it. Like I get attached to it and like my mind starts going. And this one, my mind, as I was reading it, I was like, epic. It said it in the script. I liked I thought he was rock and roll, and he was driving a Mustang, and then he was doing drugs, and I was just like, I couldn't even get through it because I was so excited at the prospect of maybe doing it. And then I saw the death, and I was just like, I didn't sleep that night. I was like, I have to do this. Like, I have to do it. It's all practical for the most part. They made a body cast of me. They cut it in 3, and they put tracks on so my chest, then my midsection was another part, and it connected on a track, and it had a guy holding it with a pole, the midsection, and then the legs, they clicked into the legs, and then the legs just sort of stood there. And then I wore a green screen outfit. I put my torso, wore it as like a necklace kind of thing, and went on a 2-step ladder, green screen behind me, clicked it in. So I'm wearing my torso behind it. Even if you watch it, you can see, if you pause it, my body language is weird because I'm like, do you get the image? Do you get what I'm saying? Like I'm standing on a ladder and I'm behind, my real body's behind in a green screen. So it's erased. And then I'm clicked into a thing. So I'm just like this. It's standing behind, and then they blow air at me, and I go, as you probably recognize, like, and then I fall, and then the guy in the middle pulls the midsection out, and then the legs just stood there, and then they did the post.
Explain now, man. Why don't you just go run down the street yelling fucking hell the Akbar, man? If we get out of here, we go home before you blow down the whole... What? I know what you're thinking, and I approve. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, so I had been living in Los Angeles at the time. I was stuck in Canada waiting for a work visa to go back home. And I saw some people auditioning for this thing called Wolf Cop. And then Sharknado was a thing at the time. So when I first heard Wolf Cop, I thought, oh, this is some Sharknado bullshit. And then this girl I helped her with her audition. I said, let me see what they're doing. Like, she's like, I said, this sounds ridiculous. And then I saw the trailer. They made a trailer, and they won a contest, like a Project Greenlight type thing in Canada, called Cinecoop, which gave them $1 million, the movie. And I saw the trailer, and I was like, I get it. This is horror comedy. What is it though? Is there a character for me? Like, who's playing Wolf Cop? He said, we have someone for Wolf Cop, but there's this other guy. And I read it, and I was just like, I think I could be funny. I think I could be really funny with this. Like, this guy picks me up in a pickup truck, smoking butts, and he's got a Canadian accent. He's talking blah blah blah, like real hoser. And we're talking, and he picks me up, and he drops me off at the soundstage for a rehearsal or a wardrobe fitting. I said, so hey, hold on, man. His name was Hugh. I said, what do you do in this? Oh fuck, man, I'm the fucking producer. At that moment, I knew exactly what I was getting into. These guys are rad, and we had the best time ever. You walk out of a soundstage, on the table is the wolf costume and all of this stuff and whatever, and those are low-budget movies, so, there's no place to hide that stuff. I was pleasantly surprised with how the first one turned out. The second one, I had way more fun shooting the second one, and the second one should have been better, but they ran out of money, actually. So we couldn't finish the movie. We waited. That end scene of the rink was cut in half. I was supposed to show up on the what's it called? The Zamboni was supposed to have a machine gun on the top of it, and I was supposed to be like blasting the guys on the ice with the machine gun. Yeah, there's some weird things happened on that second one. But had we done that, I think the second one would have been, if we were able to finish it, the best.
Now see what you get by playing God G on the bodies of the seats that you dress. Now I got rhythm the pieces like a letter through the shredder. No one does it better. Kill a bee, kill blaze and die. Put one in the eye and the dead will die. You want me dead, come and try. And get a superstar serving up demise. I am Fury, bringer of the vengeance to the house of the dead. You got to come relentless. I am Fury, bringer of the vengeance. Will you hide or will you bear witness? I am Fury, bringer of the vengeance to the house of the dead. You got to come relentless. I am Fury, bringer of the vengeance. Will you hide or will you bear witness?
I was filming Final Destination. I got called in. We were on Vancouver Island. I got called into Vancouver to go and audition for this movie. They had a really decent budget to be the lead of this video game movie. And Resident Evil had just come out while I was shooting Final Destination. So we were thinking video game movies, are going to be the new thing on paper. And they thought I sort of looked like a young Bruce Campbell. Like, that's what the writers told me. And I started that movie the day I finished Final Destination. I flew and started that movie. And we went through a walk through the forest, the cast, all of us together. And Uwe said to me, Jonathan, there's a scene where Rudy and the friends are outside of the House of the Dead and the zombies are coming. And I wanted to be like Tom Hanks, like Saving Private Zombie. There's a scene where the camera like punches into me and there's all this chaos going on. And I guess that they were trying to emulate Saving Private Ryan on the beach of Normandy. Yeah. What happened with that movie was the writers wrote a funny script. Uwe had his idea of what he wanted to do. I'm not an action star. He cut out all the jokes and he kept on chopping the script. Like, this scene is omitted, it's omitted, it's omitted. More zombies, more zombies. And it ended up being like nonsensical and not funny. And had some like nifty kind of action-y stuff for the time, I guess. I don't know. I had the best time shooting that movie. I was brand new to acting. I'd only been acting for 2 years. I didn't know what to do, what was what. If you told me tomorrow I can go back in time and remake that movie, I would do it in 1 second. I had so much fun. But yeah, a lot went wrong with that one. And, a bunch of my friends to the theater to see this movie. And I literally was trying to disappear I was so embarrassed. They were laughing at the screen. Like, the entire audience was like laughing at the screen. It was bad, man. It was not fun. It was humbling. Now in retrospect, 20 years ago. It was like literally 18 years ago. I can look at it and be like, But I still tell people, don't watch it.